Today we are wrapping up our special on the subway. It's called 120 Years on the Move. The system celebrated the milestone on Sunday.
Transportation reporter Elijah Westbrook examines the current state of the subway and also future plans to improve service for millions of riders who rely on it.
The subway has come a long way, and its 120-year age perhaps might give insight into why modernizing it is not an overnight job.
There's a tremendous amount of money that needs to go into this old lady.
It's no secret. At times, the subway shows its age, from crippling infrastructure to outdated and dirty subway cars that are older than some of the people who ride them.
It's neglect. It's neglect.
And elevated structures that appear to be on their last legs. Seen here are rusted and corroded beams in Brooklyn that hold up these more than 80,000-pound trains. The subway undoubtedly could use much-needed attention. Most recently, the MTA board voted in favor of a 5-year, nearly $68.5 billion capital plan, an ambitious proposal that transit leaders say could be the fix to some of its problems.
There's no question that we have a lot to live up to, right?
I spoke exclusively with MTA Transit President Demetrius Critchlow about the subway's milestone, but also questioning if the system can endure another century at the rate it's going.
We have teams out there around the clock maintaining our tracks, our signals, our infrastructure, making sure that every day is a safe day.
The MTA had its eyes set on congestion pricing, which was paused at the last minute by Governor Kathy Hochul. At the time, she cited it would be a financial setback for New Yorkers, footing the $15 toll to enter the central business district. But transit leaders say that decision cost them $15 billion.
It needs money so that it doesn't deteriorate, so that we don't have a summer of hell.
You may remember in 2017, a series of subway failures became so severe that summer, New Yorkers nicknamed the period the Summer of Hell. It included train derailments and poor on-time performance, averaging as low as 65%. Then Governor Andrew Cuomo declared a state of emergency for the subway system.
Somebody who's 120 years old needs money to stay young and vital and vibrant. And the subways are 120 years old, and they need money for their upkeep.
But with no publicly stated backup plan from the pause in congestion pricing, it's possible the tunnel ahead could be challenging. I spoke with MTA Chairman and CEO Janno Lieber about that earlier this year. Is there a plan B at this point?
No, it's a real concern. So there's no plan B for $15 billion to show up magically.
While there's great uncertainty surrounding the future of the New York City subway system because of the pause in congestion pricing, the transit agency isn't derailing plans to expand it. From game-changing projects like the Interborough Express linking Brooklyn and Queens to the 2nd Avenue subway extension into East Harlem. There's certainly a future for this system as it continues to think of ways to provide more options for the 3.6 million daily riders who rely on it.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
120 years.
120
That's
years.
a long time.
Big milestone.
Not getting any younger.
For sure.
Yes, certainly not.
Well, as you can see, Elijah is here in studio with us. You know, you mentioned 2 future projects, definitely, that they're working on there. I know that the MTA just wrapped up its committee hearings. Did they offer any specific insight, at least into the near future, let's say the next 5 years?
Well, a big focus of today's meeting was about the 2025-29 capital plan. And as we learned in the story there, it's a $68.5 billion ambitious plan that would include the rollout of about 2,000 new subway cars, infrastructure upgrades, among other things, right? We've heard this spiel so many times from the MTA, but the big problem now is that only half of that money is being funded. So the MTA is relying on the state to come up with the other half of that money. As of this report, as we're live on TV right now, we have not heard a publicly stated plan from the governor or the legislature about if they will, in fact, fund the remaining half of that capital plan.
Right. Or do they go to Washington or congestion pricing, right? So
yeah, a lot of things still in limbo, but 120 years, there's a lot to be said about that. And as I mentioned at the end of the piece there, it's something that, you know, it's not an overnight job in terms of modernizing this aging system.
Certainly not.
Right.
Certainly not.
all right.
Thank you, Elijah.
Thanks for the
Great to
insight.
see you.
Great to see you as always.
No question, you bet. And you can see all of Elijah's stories on the subway, 120 years on the move. Just head over to cbsnewyork.com.